Buckle up because I'm going to save you so much money if you like expensive skincare, and that goes from creams and serums and everything. And we are starting today with peptides, okay? Peptides are in pretty much every expensive skincare product that you find on the market right now. They really work. They are good. You're going to want to favorite this to come back to later because we're getting a very big science lesson today, starting with there are only a handful of manufacturers around the world, and I'm going to put them on the screen right here, who are producing the peptides that you find in most of the creams and serums that you love, the really expensive ones. And for the most part, there are really three main peptides that are being used, and all sorts of different combinations of them, which may be patented or, packaged under a different name. But really, you've got Matrixyl. It's been on the market a long time. We're going to get there in a second. You've got a copper tripeptide. You see that on packages a lot. And then you have acetyl hexapeptide 8, which is marketed under different names at different times in different countries and whatever, but it's all the same thing. Now, all of these are relatively cheap to produce. You can find them in cheaper formulas. What you're really paying for is the delivery, the packaging, the marketing, and most importantly, the encapsulation, because these things are very, very sensitive to the environment. I'm going to give you an example. If you get a jar like this, and this is a very expensive jar, and you can open it and oxygen can get to it and light can get to it, you're throwing your money away. Because from the minute the air and the light start hitting your peptides, they're losing efficacy. Like in just a few weeks, up to 40%. And I'm going to explain that more in my free weekly newsletter, and the information is here. But I think it's bonkers to me that people are paying so much for the marketing of a product, but then they get the product and it's been marketed well and the packaging looks super cute. But then the peptides degrade over time, and what did you even pay for? Just some oil? And let's talk about that first one, Matrixyl. Matrixyl is relatively cheap to produce. It is made by a company called Sederma. Sederma put this product out there, and there were very few adopters. In Canada, you had a company called Elizabeth Grant. They did a phenomenal job with it, and if you don't know that brand, you should go check them out. They're mid-priced. In the US, the big adopter was Olay. That's Procter & Gamble. Olay had phenomenal products with the Matrixyl peptides in them, but people didn't really know. They didn't understand what peptides were and how powerful they can be for the skin. Taking this opportunity to remind you again that even if Olay has the Matrixyl in their products, you should be doing that with like a pump style, because the creams you can open like this, no, you're degrading the whole product. And I think it's cool that they put it in. They had the packaging all wrong though. This is getting much longer than I expected. Do we want a part 2? I can explain the other peptides, how they work, and some of the creams and serums that I think are really worth the money, and the dupes that I'd rather see you spend the money on. Don't buy another peptide cream or serum until you watch this, because I'm going to save you so much money. I already explained that there are 3 main peptides being used in basically every skincare product that you find, and you can click on this comment and you'll see a little more education about that. And they're all relatively cheap to produce, but the way they're packaged and what they're packaged with makes or breaks whether they even do anything for your face. And like I said, they're all really cheap to produce, so for you to pay hundreds of dollars for a peptide cream or serum is bonkers to me. There's no reason to be spending more than 30 or 40, and in a lot of cases a lot less. I already told you about Matrixyl, so today I'm going to tell you about copper peptides and acetyl hexapeptide 8, which is being marketed under a variety of names, this one in particular, for the really expensive creams, but you can get it cheap. This is what your copper peptides are going to do for your skin. They're like little messengers telling your skin it's time to go repair itself. The result, if you use a good product and you use it properly, is stronger, healthier looking skin over a prolonged period of time. We're not talking 1 or 2 uses, we're talking many weeks. Acetyl hexapeptide 8, on the other hand, has a totally different vibe. It is marketed as Botox in a bottle. Now, I want to preface this with there is no Botox in a bottle other than Botox or other neuromodulators, so don't believe that hype. But it does on a very temporary basis interrupt the chemical signals that help your face do all those scrunching movements. So theoretically, less fine lines and wrinkles. And those results are going to be relatively minor. So for me to spend hundreds of dollars on a cream with very minor wrinkle reducing effects doesn't make sense. You should just get the Botox. The first 2 I mentioned, the Matrixyl and the copper, are sort of superheroes though. And if you want me to give you a bunch of options for really affordable ones that work really nicely, I will happily do that. Let me know if you want me to explain this more in depth in my next free weekly newsletter. That information is here because I think it's interesting and we shouldn't be spending that much money. You're getting overcharged for peptide serums and creams, and I'm going to tell you what to buy and what not to buy because a lot of it's just hype. If you go back and click on this comment, I explained why you should never buy a container like this of any type of face cream, serum, whatever that has peptides in it, because basically you're throwing your money away. The airless pump and combination of different peptides on this one makes it a good choice. It's also under 30 bucks. Putting everything in my profile to make everything nice and easy and in one spot, but I will include a fuller list in the next free weekly newsletter. That information is here, so everyone has lots of options. Two more. This one under 20 is excellent, and this one under 30, also a really good choice. Okay, what are we duping next?